Hello and welcome to the Penn State Curling pregame show. We have 4 fantastic games coming up for you this evening, and it all starts off with our featured game of the day, the Canadian Cartel against Stop Hammer Time. But before we get to that game, let's go through our other 3 fantastic games this evening. First up on sheet 2, a silver bracket game, the losers bracket final. The winner advances to the championship to take on Team 7. It is Miracle on Ice, who we just saw defeat Cleanup Crew here on sheet 1 at 8:30, taking on the Stoners. Matt, who do you like in this matchup?
Well, let's see. Miracle on Ice, we just saw them. They played fantastically. Got a little dicey, but they were able to pull through. So it's interesting. With this doubleheader, are they going to be exhausted or are they going to be warmed up? So I'm kind of rooting for them. They beat Sam's Club fair and square in a tight game for their spot in the bracket. So I hope they pull through.
Very good observations there. Now, both of these teams, if they win, they will be playing Team 7 in the silver bracket final. Both teams have already played Team 7 and have fallen so far this year, so they will both be looking for revenge in next week's championship games. Now, as we go to sheet 3 today, we are going down to our bronze bracket, where we have a team of a couple of newcomers. We have Broom Shakalakas, who have kind of taken the Penn State curling scene by storm with their playful style of curling. And they're taking on Game of Stones, who was the top seed in the bronze bracket. Now, this is still a winner's bracket game. So, Matt, taking a look at that game, what do you think?
I haven't seen enough of these teams personally to make a solid judgment. Room Shakalakas, as you said, high energy and high scoring. They're definitely a powerhouse in the ice. So I can't really speak for that one, unfortunately, but should be interesting nevertheless.
Now, in a poll that we did preseason that you can find, or not preseason, but pre-playoffs on our news website, The Takeout, we did ask the world-famous Willard Preacher who he thought would take home the bronze bracket championship, and he did pick the Broom Shakalakas to win it all, so we will see if his prediction comes through. Broom Shakalakas also with the best Vegas odds to come home with the bronze medal next week, currently at 8-1. Game of Stones is second at 14-1, so this is a very high-quality matchup in our lowest bracket this week.
Between those Vegas odds and a little bit of divine intervention, their odds look a little bit better. So
now for our third game going on sheet number 4, we're going to ask Alex Scott for his opinion. This is also a bronze bracket game between the Super Sweepers and the Sweeping Beauties. Now, Sweeping Beauties were supposed to play at 8:30 over on sheet 2. Their opponents did not show up. Alex, what can we expect from this game?
Especially since Super Sweepers came from my pod, definitely have a lot of actual win tonight. I'm probably going to predict a 3-2 win from Super Sweepers. Yeah, that's my insight there.
Good insight by Alex. Now, interestingly enough, both of these teams have advanced by forfeit through this tournament. So neither team has played in a couple of weeks. Super Sweepers did play one game. They won their first game by forfeit, advanced to play Game of Stones, where they did fall. Game of Stones now playing Broom Shakalakas, as we mentioned. The winner of Broom Shakalakas and Game of Stones will advance straight to the bronze bracket championship next week. The loser will take on the winner of the Sweeping Beauties and the Super Sweepers for a spot in the championship at 8:30 next week. So our season really starting to wrap up. Now we go back to our featured game of the night. The number 2 and 3 seeds in the gold bracket, Stop Hammer Time and the Canadian Cartel. Both teams preseason were the second seeded teams in their pods, and both pulled off major upsets on opening night. Stop Hammer Time threw the first punch in the first game of our spring season, taking out the defending champion Sam Club with a resounding victory on opening night. And then the following week in their opening game, the Canadian Cartel took down one of the preseason favorites, Team 7, in a game that came down to the final shot. And they face off tonight. Now, Matt, what do you think about tonight's matchup?
Tonight's matchup looks like it's going to be close. Definitely exciting. We've got some good teams here. And ultimately, I think what makes this exciting are the stakes. I'm gonna face Legion of Broom next, deciding who gets to go into our finals bracket. That's going to be really interesting to see. Looking forward to it.
Now, speaking of Legion of Broom, they came into the gold bracket as the #1 seed. The highest point differential in league history through a group play. Some dominant victories. That trend has continued into our playoffs. Definitely the favorites to win it all. ESPN's Curling Power Index giving Legion of Broom a 77% chance to win the gold bracket and our league championship. And we have one of the members of Legion of Broom here with us, our sideline reporter tonight, Alex Scott. Alex, you guys played Canadian Cartel last week. What can you tell us about them as they go into tonight's matchup?
Cartel is definitely a very solid team. From our win over them, they need to switch up for this coming match is how they skip. They're focusing too much on the stone at hand instead of the overall picture. They were looking at it, we need to put the stone in instead of, we need to acquire points here. I mean, we would have a stone in play, and their immediate action would be to take it out. And when you're down 4-0 with 2 ends left, you need to start getting points. So definitely need a little bit of a change of strategy here if they want to pull off a win. But I definitely can see them championship next week.
Yes, and something that I noticed from watching their games is that they are good at keeping stones in play. But as Alex mentioned, it's a team of a lot of newcomers. Little curling experience. We had some of the team play last semester, some of them new. So that means that their strategy curling-wise is a bit weak, especially compared to such an experienced team in Legion of Broom. Their entire team returning from last semester. They've had people who have been a part of the club for a couple of years now, including their skip, Brendan Liebross, who has been here since the beginning of the club. So that's really where Legion of Broom's advantage is over either of these teams, whoever they end up playing in the championship. Now, Matt, I'm not going to ask Alex because there's a conflict of interest there. Matt, you have to give your prediction right now. Who's winning the gold bracket championship?
My money's on Legion of Broom. I have a lot of respect for them. They made it to the finals, barely eliminated last year for the tournament championship position. Now they're back again in full force. Having played them for that same championship bracket, one thing I can attest for is their ferocity. They're aggressive. They see rocks in play, and their main goal is to remove them. Their goal is to get as many rocks in play as possible. There is higher level strategy to this, but ultimately, it's scary. It's scary playing against them. Not only are they good, they get rocks in play, they score high, and that leads to the highest point differential in the league history. So,
especially this semester, because they're kind of out for blood this semester. They came in with a purpose, and Alex is nodding his head over there with a little smirk on his face. They came with a purpose. They will not be denied. Alex, how confident are you going into next week?
Same confidence we've had from the start of the season. I mean, it's want to know attitude, like James Franklin said. Go into every single match thinking, let's win this one. Let's think about what happens after the fact, especially after the championship finish we had last year. I mean, #2 isn't bad, but it's not what we wanted. So this is definitely our main goal coming around. I mean, we definitely want to win.
And you can see if Legion of Broom will win that championship game live on our YouTube channel next Sunday night, 10:30 p.m. It will be Legion of Broom against the winner of Stop Hammer Time and the Canadian Cartel. Now, let's also take a look at our other two brackets. We already briefly talked about the bronze bracket. Let's talk about the silver bracket real quick, as we are down to 3 teams in that bracket as well. In one of our games tonight, we have the Stoners and Miracle on Ice. We just saw Miracle on Ice win to eliminate the cleanup crew. They take on the Stoners. The winner will take on Team 7. Matt, who is taking home the silver medal?
Team 7, if their uniform game is good. That's that being their condition. A lot of good teams here. I've seen some consistent performance. I haven't paid as much attention to the silver bracket as I have the gold, so I don't have as much to say on that. But it's another really exciting matchup. A bunch of teams full of energy, a lot of experienced members, some new rising stars. So it's great to see them in the mix.
Yes, absolutely. And a team that has really surprised people so far this year is the Stoners. They do return about half of their team from previous years, but they really took a step up in quality this year, I think, watching them play. They were always a team that was able to keep stones in the house, but this year they came back with a renewed ability to score points, and it's really showed off here in the playoffs. They've had a couple of good wins, defeating Sam's Club in their opening game, defeating the cleanup crew who we just saw fall to Miracle on Ice before running into kind of a buzzsaw on Team 7 last week, getting 10 points hung on them. But they're looking for a way back to the championship, looking to get some revenge on Team 7 and that uniform game that they have. And Legion of Broom has some good uniforms of their own. Alex, you guys have anything special in store for next week?
I can't say.
That's classified information. They're saving it.
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
And we have a developing scenario over here. Don't think it's anything important. I think it has to do with a growing fan base that we have over in the stands. Now, fans and the Penn State Curling Club is something that we've grown to love over the years. It started with the Stone Ponies and the Stone Zone a couple years ago, and we've had some other teams start to get some fan bases, and we have a pretty good, sizable fan base in the crowds right now that's looking for the Broom Shakalakas, I assume.
That's what I'm looking at. It's fantastic to see the game grow, especially when you get spectators involved as well.
Definitely. It definitely makes it for a much better atmosphere. And I'm sure that we're going to get some music playing here in a couple minutes, really set the scene. And we are planning an even bigger spectacle for our championship matches next week. Our president, Sam Fuchs, I hear he will be personally learning how to play the bagpipes this week. And if he does not learn how to play the bagpipes in time, he will give everyone $1 next week. So I'm announcing that on air, so it has to be true. So Sam is on the hook for that. So either bagpipes or $1 if you show up to the championship game next week.
I'm gonna be there no matter what.
I'm gonna
hear some teeny crappy bagpipes, or I'm gonna have Rusty Dot.
Well, hopefully it works out for you either way. And we continue to look forward to our games tonight. We were hoping to get a couple interviews from some of the teams that are playing, but it doesn't appear that they have showed up just yet. But I think we will send Alex over to go see if he can find one of them, bring them over for a pregame interview, either a member of the Canadian Cartel or the Stop Hammer Time as we get ready to go into this game. And these are two teams that also have incredible team names. We've had some great team names this semester. I think these are two of the best. Matt, what's your favorite team name from this semester's league?
Out of all of them?
Out of all of them.
I'd have to think about it. There's curling opens itself up to a lot of wordplay. There's a lot of ways you can go with this. But if I had to look around at our list, Game of Stones, it's pretty funny. Big fan of that.
I think we really do have a top tier of names this year. Alex, who's like your top 2 or 3 names?
I do have to think Blue Shock Blocker.
Yeah.
That just sits in my heart and on my tongue perfectly. It's very fun to say. Stoners is always fun. I mean, there are so many play on words to do with all the different terminology.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with Alex. I think Broom Shakalakas is my favorite. I'm also a big fan of these two teams that we have playing, Stop Hammer Time and Canadian Cartel. I think that those are 2 high-quality names as well. But also just looking at our list real quick, really every team has come up with a good creative name, pretty much. Even Team 7. Team 7, the winner of our first semester best team name Twitter poll, just for being how basic it was. But even Team 7, from top to bottom, we have some great team names that's really turned into some great play. And our players are starting to take the ice. The Broom Shakalakas AirPods are in. What songs are they listening to get ready today?
Whatever it takes for them to get ready, get pumped. It's going to be a big game for them, so hopefully they're getting the energy up.
Big game, and here all of the players come. And we are waiting for our teams. Here comes the Canadian Cartel, led by their captain, James Russin. Cup of coffee in hand, green broomhead. Actually, not coffee, I don't believe. Some type of beverage in hand, and he looks ready to go tonight. Now, stop hammer time. The sunglasses are on. Kevin Matthews with 1T has a headband rocking. They are ready for revenge.
Yeah, I think it's interview time.
I think it is interview time as well. Go see who you can scrounge up over here.
All right. We'll get you that interview footage shortly.
And we are going to give you a look at them warming up as we get in ready to go into action here. Now, there are the teams getting ready to play here. And Alex is going over to see who he can get for an interview. And there is stop hammer time. The cowboy spotted hat, the headband, the Nittany Lion headband, need to be more exact. Got a couple other hats. They have their team uniforms in full effect tonight. And we have a very large crowd tonight as well, cheering for the Broom Shakalakas as they continue their march towards the bronze medals.
We love to see a great turnout in the community ice. We love to see the peg packed, and looks like it's going to be a fun game tonight. Some great matchups and some great energy.
And just taking a look at our chat, we have two Dans in the chat right now. And it looks like Dan Early, he's getting a little impatient. He wants to get this show on the road. Dan, you're going to have to wait for a little bit longer. But we do have some great interviews coming up to keep you covered while the teams do warm up. We see Alex talking to one of the members of Stop Hammer Time right now. We'll see what type of information he gets for us. And while we're waiting, Matt, I think it's time for another trivia question for you.
Oh, I'm ready.
Now, this one, I don't even know if it's going to be curling related. Let's just see. Let's see what we can scrounge up right here.
All right. Brain's warmed up.
The brain is warmed up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
The 101 best trivia questions in order. Here we go. In the state of Georgia, it is illegal to eat what food with a fork?
Is this multiple choice, or am I picking?
Multiple choice, you're picking. I'll give you a couple hints, though. It's a very popular food. I'm sure that you have eaten it several times in your life. You can get this in the town of State College, Pennsylvania.
I think I've got an idea. Has to be pizza.
It
Pizza
is
with a fork
not
should be
pizza.
illegal.
It
Excuse me?
should be illegal, but not the answer.
Okay.
Now, it is a meat. It's a very popular type of meat. I would say that people eat it all the time. It can be made into several different things.
So illegal to eat with a fork?
Yes,
I mean, that sounds like you're talking about a beef product. It's versatile.
it is
but
not a beef product.
you eat those with forks. Chicken tenders?
You're getting closer, and while you keep thinking on that, we're going to go over to Alex Scott with a member of Stop Hammer Time. Alex, take it away.
Third time's a charm. We're here with Gray, the skip from Stop Hammer Time. Gray, how confident are you in your team's ability to pull off a win today?
So yeah, we're a pretty good team so far. We've had a pretty good season, so I think we have a pretty good shot at moving on to the finals today.
Any specific strategy in order to start off the match strong?
I think getting points early is always a big thing. That way, you're not paying from behind, and you can relax a little bit more with the rest of your.
Anything specific you expect from the Cartel tonight?
Nothing really specific. I know they're a good team. We played them before and we lost, unfortunately, in overtime. But I think if we play our game, we have a pretty good shot at winning tonight.
Yep. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Alex. Sorry that took that long to get your mic situation figured out. That
color
was
are you guys,
Ray
blue?
Catherine from Stop Hammer Time, and they are getting ready, set to go here. The Canadian Cartel just throwing some warm-up shots as we go down towards the other end. Canadian Cartel in yellow. Stop Hammer Time will be throwing the blue stones as we get ready to get underway today. And as we go back towards the near house, standing there on the right side of the hack from the Canadian Cartel is David Myers, the one who hit the game-winning shot the last time these two teams matched up in our extra end tiebreaker. What magic will he have for us again tonight? And it seems like Alex is trying to get an interview with the star player. Let's see if he's successful in doing so.
Okay.
Ready to go.
We have raw talent.
It's 8 minutes overdue. I got a bedtime, you know?
And we can take a quick peek at some action that's going on sheet 2. That is Miracle on Ice and the Stoners. I believe that this is their first end that they are underway there on sheet number 2. And it looked like the Stoners have just put a stone in the house. Looks both teams have a stone in the house at this point. That should be a very good matchup in the semifinals of the silver bracket. It's a semifinal Sunday here at the Bagula Ice Arena. And now we go back over to Alex Scott with an interview of David Myers from the Canadian Cartel.
So I'm here with David, the second from Canadian Cartel. And David, coming off your loss from last week, what kind of different strategies are you going to have in order to come out tonight with a win?
Well, given the ice at Pagola isn't necessarily as good as major curling ice, we're going to go with what the sheet gives us. We're also going to tinker with what happened last week, considering we also saw what was, well, we learned a bit from our opponents, and basically going to try and implement some of the strategies we learned there into our game plan today.
So I believe this isn't the first time that you've played Stop Hammer Time. What do you expect to see from them?
I expect to see basically efficient curling. They're going to probably try and score at least on every single end. And from our last game, we had to come back and win. So we have to play well if we want to have repeat success.
I definitely agree. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Back to you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Alex, and we are underway. The first stone from Canadian Cartel has been thrown. Their skip, James Russin, at the other end, calling the sweep for the sweepers, and this looks to be a very nice first stone. Looks to glide just into the edge of the house, maybe sneaking into the 8-foot there, into that white circle, and we are off and running here in the gold bracket semifinals, a few minutes behind schedule. But Stop Hammer Time and the Canadian Cartel are ready to do battle here on sheet number 1. On sheet 2, the Stoners and Miracle on Ice are in action. Miracle on Ice currently sitting 2 by the looks of it. And we will keep you up to date on what is happening on the other sheets as well. We also have our little ticker at the top giving you live score updates throughout the night on all 4 of our sheets here from the Bagula Ice Arena. And the man who we just spoke to from Stop Hammer Time, here is Gray, and he is ready to play some curling. Here is his first shot, and he matched what the Cartel just put out on the sheet. And the shot, this one also looks to be ending up in the house. Gonna give a little love tap to that yellow stone, pushing it into the 4-foot circle, but very high level curling to start off. And if that is a sign of things to come, we are in for a real treat here tonight.
We have two shots taken and two sitting ones. Beautiful accuracy so far. Rock stops a little bit short of the house. Not what they were going for exactly, but it is it's a rock and play.
A rock in play indeed. So 2 stones in play for the Canadian Cartel. Here goes Delaney Price of Stop Hammer Time. Can she match her counterpart? Can we go 4 for 4 here to start this game? She's in the hack and ready. Now, the last time these two teams matched up, Delaney was slightly sidelined by a lower body injury, but she is back at 100%, and we know that that gives a big boost to the team, not only on the ice, but to their morale as well.
Absolutely. Helps have a full lineup, and it's great to see her back in play.
And over on sheet 3, we have some good action going on. Vroom Shakalakas just put a stone in the house over on sheet 3. We will keep you up to date on that one as well, with a big crowd there to watch that bronze bracket semifinal.
It's shaping up to be an absolutely electric night for the curling club at Penn State.
So 4 stones have been thrown. 4 stones are in play. That's one thing about both of these teams that we have noticed throughout the season. They know how to keep stones in play. They are going to force you to make shots late in ends to win games.
Both teams are taking their time to deliberate. Looks like Hammer Time knows what they're doing. They are preparing to throw their next rock.
And here's the stone from the Canadian Cartel. Got at least 50 RPM on that thing as it spins down the ice.
Looks like it's going to hit their own stone.
It does look like that.
It's grooving.
And it does hit their own stone, sends it out the back, basically replacing their original stone.
Net loss of 0.
Stop Hammer Time back on the ice. And the throw. Kevin Matthews rocking that Nittany Lion headband.
Looks like it's going for the yellow jersey. Let it play back a little bit.
It does have to come back a little, and does it have the weight to fully get it out of the house? I don't think it does. It's going to kind of bump in between those two. Does bump their blue just a slight bit closer. So it does get a job done.
Looks like blue is sitting. We are sending our on-ice reporter to go investigate the state of play right now.
Alex Scott will be our sideline reporter throughout the day, keeping you up to date on what is going on in that house on the far end of the ice. Back here, closer to us, David Myers getting ready to push out of the hack and throw for the Canadian Cartel in what has been a thrilling end number one here in the gold bracket semis. Getting some advice here from his teammate. Canadian Cartel, they have worked well together as a team all semester long.
It looks like they are gunning to remove that blue sitting out in front. Or potentially the one...
And here goes the shot from David Myers. Sweepers are on that one fast. It came out of his hand a little light. John, I do not think they were talking about you. Gonna be honest. I'm sure that you're a great guy, but I don't think you're on their minds right now.
What should be on their mind, though, is that they unfortunately lost a rock. Fell short of the hog line and is burned. With a contested house like this, losing rocks is not advantageous.
Definitely not. And they do have one stone in the house. It's a bit of a tricky position. Now, stop hammer time. And we're going to go down to Alex Scott.
Jimmy, so from my angle here, just off the ice, it appears that blue is closer. So yellow is just outside of the shot rock by maybe 6-7 inches. But as of right now, blue holds shot rock.
Thank you for that update, Alex. And we will stay down there to see what happens after this next shot. A very important shot in this end. Now Kevin Matthews with 1T has added sunglasses to the repertoire. Some good outfits out here by Stop Hammer Time tonight. The shot has been released, and the sweepers are on. It did look to be a little light out of the hand. He looks to be going straight for those centered couple of stones. You really don't want to tap those if you're Stop Hammer Time. It will stop short. That does prevent the play of the Canadian Cartel being able to tap that top blue into their yellow to nudge their yellow towards the button. They're trying to force Canadian Cartel to make a play off of that current shot rock, the blue rock, towards the bottom of your screen.
And it looks like that is the strategy there.
And here comes the shot by the Canadian Cartel. It looks very wide, needs to curl back. Maybe looks like it could sneak into the edge of the house. And that is exactly what is going to happen. They do get an extra stone in the house there. Not extremely beneficial for them, but it could be useful in a little bit.
Not quite what they were going for, but not a bad shot.
Now, we do have a debate going on between our president, Sam Finch, and Stop Hammer Time. We're going to get word about what that was all about. So what happened is Stop Hammer Time called over to our officials and said that it appeared that the Canadian Cartel committed a hogline violation on that last throw, meaning that they did not release their stone before they crossed that black line that you see on the right edge of your screen. So what will happen is the Canadian Cartel is being given a warning by our president, Sam Fuchs, and if it happens again, that stone will be removed from play. But for now, we are back to the action. Stop Hammer Time looking to take out that stone that the Cartel just played. It will miss wide to the right. Now we have a interesting suggestion for a new tiebreaker in the chat. Possibly if the two teams are still tied after our overtime tiebreaker, John, maybe we will take you up on that suggestion, because I'm going to be honest, it would be quite interesting. And the next throw from the Canadian Cartel looks to be takeout speed. Now, will they hit a stone? It looks like it might hit their own.
I don't think it's going to come back enough to get the blue.
And it does slide through the house to the other end, taking a little trip to
Flavortown there, Jimmy.
And one of our first stones to go to Flavortown tonight.
Both teams have been really good at keeping rocks in play this round.
So from what I saw from being down there right next to the house, blue is sitting 1 right now, and they can possibly take 2, but this shot's going to be really tough. I really don't think that there is any gap for them to be able to sneak in a second point. So honestly, if I were them, I would probably burn this rock so that they don't potentially hit their own rock and, you know, give Cartel a point here.
So sideline reporter Alex Scott suggesting that Hammer Time goes with a little bit more of a conservative strategy, just burning this rock, throwing it away from the house, away from those stones in the middle. You do that to not risk accidentally making a mistake and giving the other team a point. If we take a look at the setup in the house, Stop Hammer Time currently closer, but that yellow stone is second. Just a little nudge of a few inches could give the Canadian Cartel the early point. They want to avoid that, so it's really a risk versus reward right now as they step up to the hack, ready to throw the hammer in this first end of play. And over on sheet 2, Miracle on Ice currently with 2 stones in the house. Don't know what the result was of the first end down there, as our other games have all finished up their first end. We're looking to be getting reports on that very shortly, and we are having one of our correspondents coming back with those scores. We will get those updated for you in just a minute.
Now, an interesting turn in strategy here. This rock appears to be burned, actually. Pretty wise move. They're trying not to mess up with their current plot.
They have burned that rock, leaving them with just 1 point here on sheet number 1. But Stop Hammer Time will take the early lead here on sheet number 1 in the gold bracket semifinal. And now that we have finished up the first end, Matt, it is finally time to get back to that trivia question. So, in the state of Georgia, it is illegal to eat what food with a fork? It's a type of meat. It's a popular food. You guessed chicken tenders right at the end. You're on the right track there.
Chicken in general?
It is a chicken food. It's close to chicken tenders.
Chicken nuggets.
Oh, that's kind of the same thing there. You're so close.
Chicken pots, boneless wings?
Nope.
I don't know what else. Fried chicken.
Correct. You're at fried chicken. And as we look from one exciting thing here with Matt getting that trivia question to another exciting thing in the stands, here comes the Broom supporting the Broom Shakalakas. Now the Broom Shakalakas are down 1-0 after one end. So do they have some magic in them right now? And look at that crowd. Matt, what do you have to say about that?
I absolutely love the energy. Even though they're down one, it is still way too early. It's definitely the biggest game tonight we've seen tonight. And we love to see it. Back on sheet 1.
Does a good opening shot for Stop Hammer Time. A more aggressive play to put your first stone in the house rather than throwing a guard. We're going to see if it pays off for them in the end.
It's an interesting strategy. A little aggressive, but we love to see that kind of aggression.
Hey, when you're this late in the season, you got to do what you got to do to win. And the Canadian Cartel getting ready to throw their first stone of the second end here on sheet number 1. They're looking to even up this game, possibly even take the lead here. A point here is crucial to stay on track. You do not want to fall behind by multiple points as we move into the second half of this game. And the sweepers are ferociously sweeping in front of that stone. Don't know if it has enough to make it to the house. Should be enough to keep it in play, though. Looks to come to rest as a guard. Actually semi-blocking up that blue stone.
Not an opportune position, but not a bad shot.
Not a bad shot, but a good opportunity here for Stop Hammer Time. They can split the house here, get a blue stone on the other side of that house.
Looks like that's what they are aiming to do. Looks like their skip is calling for something on the center, perhaps?
Well, without the hammer, putting something on the center isn't that bad of a play either. It depends on, do they want to go for the steal or just try to force the Canadian Cartel to 1 point here.
Looks like he's a little bit on the fast side.
Looks a little too wide here.
And the shot by Delaney Price does go wide and through the house. Taking it to
Flavortown, Jimmy.
So we have our second stone of the night that took a trip to Flavortown. But that one was a little wide, so maybe just somewhere in
Side Flavor.
County. The Side Flavor Township. And we go back down to the hack. The Canadian Cartel ready for their second stone of the end. Can they capitalize on that miss from their rivals? over on sheet number 2, when we flip our cameras to take a look here, first, let's see where this stone ends up by the Canadian Cartel. But we have a potential 5-ender on sheet number 2. We'll update you on that in just a second. Here comes the stone from the Canadian Cartel. Looks to be another guard.
Falling a little bit short of the house, but clogging up that center.
Wonderful guard.
And over on sheet number 2, it looks like Miracle on Ice currently with 4 stones in the house. Don't think that 5th one is in there. Now the Stoners do have the hammer. They still have a chance to get 1 point out of this, but this could be very, very dangerous for the Stoners to get it backward on the score.
This looks to be a nuclear end.
And over on sheet number 3, you could probably hear the roar of the crowd. Boom Shakalakas put a stone in the house and are currently sitting 1 in the second end. Back to our featured game here. It's Kevin Matthews with the throw for Stop Hamilton. And the stone for the second straight throw from Stop Hammer Time. A very dangerous throw just happened. You saw that blue stone come flying through on sheet number 2. A 4 spot on the board for Miracle on Ice to put them up 5-0, I believe. That could be very, very detrimental to the Stoners' chances.
They wasted 0 time putting up that kind of point differential.
This is looking like a good shot.
It really is. It's good power. Looks like it's going to clear this front guard.
It's got to slow down, though.
It does have to slow down a bit. And the skip from Stop Hammer Time looking to sweep it out of the house. And he does.
Unfortunate. You can see some shirts on poster boards prepared for the other team.
A very passionate fan base over there for the Dream Shot Rockets.
Here comes the blue indeed.
And the Shakalakas just hit a guard out in front of the house. They are down by 1, and Game of Stones is sitting 1, looking to go up 2-0 in the second end over on sheet number 3. Back to our featured game, Stop Hammer Time. Sweepers coming down with the cowboy hat.
This is coming in hot, Jimmy.
And the field goal is good. It splits the guards, but unfortunately in curling, a field goal is 0 points. Stop Hammer Time is still sitting 1, however, as we get towards the end of the second end. Canadian Cartel, they've struggled to find the weight in this game. Can David Myers do it and put a stone in the house for the Cartel? This looks to crash into one of their guards. No, it will clear them. Splits the guards.
Beautiful
Looks to
shot.
get right behind that blue stone. A picture-perfect shot by
That's
David
great.
Myers. Gets fist bumps from his teammates down on the other end. And the Cartel is sitting 1.
We'd love to see it. It's a beautiful shot. Cleared both those guards and curled around that blue. Yellow is coming. Still. like Hammer Time is wasting no time in preparing another shot. Looks like they are going for that yellow or to attempt to draw into center.
Getting instructions from her teammates. Stop hammer time. They are ready to hit the nail on the head. Here comes the shot. Pushed out. Could possibly be a little quick. If they're going for that takeout, though, it might just be just right.
There's both guards. And misses yellow by a hair.
That is a difficult shot to remove. Need to split those guards, and I do believe it is about a quarter to a third of the way covered up there.
Not an easy shot to make, but worth a shot nevertheless.
Now the Canadian Cartel can look to draw in to be sitting 2.
Looks to be what they're choosing to do.
Updates from some of the other sheets. Miracle on Ice did score 4 in that second end. They are up 5-0. Game of Stones is defeating Broom Shakalakas and their fan section as they are up 2-0 after 2 ends. And over on sheet number 4, we have the Sweeping Beauties, and we'll get an update from that one in a second as we wait for the scores to update. New score from that one is just coming in. And there we go, Sweeping Beauties and Super Sweepers, a blank in the second end, still 1-0 as we move into the third.
Currently on sheet 1, yellow, which is the Cartel, is currently sitting 1. They are not look like they do, actually.
So after taking a look at the house guys, it appears that there's a little bit of space for Stop Hammer Time to come in from the right side to avoid that high guard by the Cartel. And if they want to come out of here with a point, that's the only option that they have. There's not enough room to go on the left side. There's not enough swing a curl. Either they have to go for a knockout or go for the button here. So.
And if they were to attempt to take out, how much of that yellow stone do you think you can see?
There's about a quarter of it. They got really close on their last stone, but honestly, if I were them, I would try to go for the button here.
So sideline reporter Alex Scott saying that the draw is more of the play than the takeout. We will see if they follow his instructions. Here comes the shot for Stop Hammer Time. Weight looks to be okay on this one. Might have to be swept a little bit. Definitely gonna need to be swept a little bit. Should have started sweeping that one sooner. And don't even know if it's gonna make it to the hog line. Things can die very quickly on this ice, and you just kind of saw it right there. Good opportunity for the Canadian Cartel right now.
They're going to waste no time. Looks like they are also planning on drawing to the center to double down on their current lead.
Canadian Cartel fans in our chat are getting very excited about the current situation. It might be a little too early to be calling for a forfeit, though. A lot of game to go in this one, and we have a lot of twists and turns that I'm sure will still be coming in this high-quality matchup.
double down their current advantage, or will they choose to guard it up front?
And here comes the stone. Easily going to clear the hot line. Will it end up in the house? Gets
It
past
barely
the
clears
guard.
it. And is going to park itself on the edge of the 8-foot.
Two
They're
for
now
Cartel.
currently sitting 2 for Cartel.
And that was the hammer. 2 points for the Canadian Cartel, and they take the lead as we move into end number 3 here in our game of the week in the Gold Bracket semifinals. 2-1. The Canadian Cartel leads. Stop hammer time. And let's take a look around at some of the rest of our games going on. Focus in on sheet number 2. Currently, the Stoners are sitting 1 with that blue stone in the back of the red circle, the 4-foot circle. And the Stoners have a second throw coming up right now. They get ready to step up towards the hat. And over on sheet number 3, Broom Shakalakas. 2 stones in the house. They have split the house beautifully, looking to tie up this game. And here comes the throw from the Stoners. Sweeping his own stone after throwing. That is what we call a high-class curler right there. But I don't even, there was enough sweeping in the world that could have helped that stone out.
Too short, unfortunately. Too little, too late. Let's take a look at our fan section. Looks like we got our Shakalaka fans having a field day. Meanwhile, on sheet 1, the first rock has been thrown by the
Broom Shakalakas is sitting 2 right now. They just had a stone end up short of the hot line. And back here on sheet number 1, it is a draw to the button for the Canadian Cartel to start off at number 3. And the pressure is now back on stop hammer time to answer.
Keeping the pressure on the other team is an important part of curling. It's about as much strategy, skill as it is mental game as well. Nobody likes playing when they're under pressure like this. So let's see if Hammer Time is able to reverse this early and lead.
Oh, and Kevin Matthews has lost the Nittany Lion headband, so you know things are getting serious now. And here comes their first stone. Looking to sweep it into the house to answer their rival's opening shot. Don't know if it's going to make it there.
A little bit slow guarding the corner of that house.
Does set up as a corner guard. That is good curling strategy for when you do have the hammer. Set up guards on the corner, leave that middle open for your final shot. Let's see if they continue with that strategy as we move into their leading shots.
Sure is. Center's still open, and at this point, still anyone's game. Looks like Cartel is gearing to defend that rock. They currently have. They're playing conservatively. Looks like they're aiming short of the house.
Over on sheet 2, the Stoners are looking to make a comeback. Currently have 1 in the house and a second one that's coming in. We'll keep you updated on that. And the shot from Canadian Cartel going to set up very nicely as a guard. Just going to sneak over that hog line, I believe. Actually, I don't think it did. I don't think it made it.
We'll see what the ruling on the ice is.
Yeah, we're going to send sideline reporter Alex Scott to check that out.
Let's see what he has to say.
And Alex has instructed the Canadian Cartel it is not fully over the hog line. So that stone, just like a baseball player after the third strike,
It's
is out.
out. Yeah, Jimmy, that stone was probably halfway across the line, and for the stone to be considered in play, it's got to be 100% over.
That is correct. Halfway doesn't count. This is a game of inches and millimeters. And the time is rolling.
Skip Gray with looking like a draw back.
Now, Canadian Cartel has opened up, by missing that last shot, has opened up the possibility for them to remove that center yellow. Unfortunately, this rocket's a little too slow to do so.
Over on sheet number 2, Miracle on Ice. Stoners currently sitting 2. They're trying to dislodge those 2 stones in the center of the house there. We're going to see if they can do it. 3 sweepers on that trying to get it. It's not going to make it. Stoners with a draw for 3 to find their way back into this match. Can they take advantage of that? And as we go over and look back to our sheet, James pushing out of the hack and throwing his stone for the Canadian Cartel.
This will be a little bit fast.
Skip
That
David.
rocket's slowing down
Yeah.
nicely.
Skip David calling for the sweep there, and it is going to end up perfectly in the top of the house.
Right where they want it. That is perfect.
Beautiful guard.
And not only is it a guard for that rocket and button, it's also giving them an extra point as it stands. So Canadian Cartel is currently sitting 2. Meanwhile, on sheet 3, a Blue Chocolate Rock barely snuck out the back.
I've also noticed that the Dream Shock Lapa fans, they seem to be also rooting for the Sweeping Beauties. Sweeping Beauties just put a stone in the house, and the crowd reacted with a very nice cheer for their friends down on sheet number 4. Stoners throwing the hammer here on sheet number 2. What is going to happen with this shot here? We'll take a look at that as it glides down. A very big shot in that game.
Jimmy, this is coming off of his hand hot.
It did come off of his hand hot for Kevin Matthews here on sheet number 1. Stoner shot not close enough. They will score 2. And the shot by Kevin just misses by inches. And a fall down at the other end. Hopefully she is okay. Hopefully she is okay there.
It's a disaster.
They are off about where they are. Sitting a chance to have a third with their third to last game of the game.
I believe the score is now 3-0 in the favor of Golden Stones after the third. Over on sheet number 2. Actually, it is Blue Shot Rockets to Game of Stones 2. I mistaken. Stoners did pick up 2 in that last end over on sheet number 2. Stop hammer time. They get one of those stones out of there, and they needed that badly. After a
Stop hammer time, looking to get back on track in this end. That center stone wide open for the taking if they can get there.
Looks like Hammer Time is calling to remove that center stone.
The shot by Delaney. Looks to be a decent line. We'll see if it comes back enough to get that center stone.
Looks like it might.
Just gonna bump it enough. That actually might hurt them in the long run.
You know what? That's as Jordan noted, that might be bad for them. It actually puts it further behind those front two guards, making it significantly harder to get to, while still retaining that point.
And we are going to go live to our sideline reporter, Alex Scott. Alex, what's going on down at that end of the ice?
So Jimmy, even though Cartel's got bumped a little bit, they're still sitting shot rock. They're only sitting one though, however, because stop hammer time has a stone closer to the button than the second stone of the Cartel. So definitely a lot to see for these next two shots. Back to you.
Thank you, Alex. Excellent sideline reporting as always. And it's David Myers in the hack for the Canadian Cartel. He had an excellent shot in the last end, putting it very close to the button. A shot that scored one of their points. Can he do it again? Looking to put a second stone in the house.
Like it might be a guard up in front.
It is going to be a guard in front, which is actually not a bad play. Don't know if he made it all the way over that hog line, however. And quickly down to Alex.
So Jimmy, the only way that I believe Stop Hammer Time can get a point here is if they hit a peel off of their own shot that's already, their own rock that's already in the house. There is no way to access the shot rock from Cartel, so they're gonna have to do a little bump and run. That's the only way that I can see they come out here with a point.
So according to Alex, he is saying that that yellow stone in the house is completely covered by those two guards, leaving it impossible to touch. It's a little difficult to see based on our angle. So let's see what Stop Hammer Time actually decides to do here, and more importantly, who will be taking that final shot. Some updates from some other games. The Sweeping Beauty scored down on sheet number 4. They lead 3-0 in the fourth end. We're in the fourth end in all of the 3 of our other matchups. Game of Stones and Broom Shakalaka is knotted up at 2, and we appear to have a measurement going on at sheet number 2 between the Stoners and Game of Stones. Very important, as the Stoners are looking to complete a comeback. They were down 5-0 early, scored 2 in the third end, and they're looking to close the gap even further as we move into end number 4. And we are back in action here on sheet number 1. It's time for the hammer for hammer time.
I don't think the skip's calling the right shot here, Jimmy.
Let's see how this works out for them. It's on its way. It's a little quick. Not entirely sure what the purpose is. It's going to nick their own guard. And
play, unfortunately.
It will be another point for the Canadian Cartel.
Another well-earned point. Now that shot rock was the first rock thrown. It held out there for the entire game, showing just how important those really deep stones can be.
Honestly, Jimmy, going into these last 2 ends, Stop Hammer Time has hammer going into this fourth end. If they're able to acquire a few points here, they should be sitting pretty going into the 5th and final end, but being 2 behind is definitely going to be very, very difficult for them.
Yeah, Stop Hammer Time is definitely going to need to score points in this end. If they give up a steal here in the fourth end, it will be very difficult for them to come back. We saw in our earlier game a team be down 4-1 with the hammer going into the last end. They got 2 stones in the house, but couldn't find a way to get that third. With only throwing 6 stones in, and it's very difficult to get all 3 of those into the house. So we will see if Stop Hammer Time can start the comeback trail right here in the fourth end and get back on the board. They haven't scored since the first end. Over on sheet number 2, the Stoners and Miracle on Ice. Stoners look to be sitting at least 1 right now. Not sure about those 2 stones in the back. That's what they were measuring before. Stoners looking to close the gap as they head into the final end. And over on sheet number 3, the Broom Shakalakas and Game of Stones locked in a tight one. Can their fans will the Broom Shakalakas to victory, or will Game of Stones spoil the Cinderella story? And as we go back to our action down here on sheet number 1, the Canadian Cartel getting ready to throw their first stone of the end.
Looks like they're going to try to take some points here. I don't think that they're going to play conservative here at all. They're going straight for the points, Jimmy.
They sure are. They're out for blood with another rock in play.
And I don't think it's a bad strategy. We saw in the last end them get that stone in the house early on in the end, and Stop Hammer Time was unable to get that stone out of play. So they're forcing them to make a shot that they've struggled with throughout this game. Now, if Stop Hammer Time can capitalize on this and get this stone out of play, it puts them back on the front foot.
Absolutely. Whether deliberately or just by chance, Hammer Time is now under pressure to remove that first rock.
This needs to be swept.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And the sweeping is underway, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
It's not going to get close, Jimmy. This is going to have to be burned.
Stopping right in front of the production booth.
And just like a fire, that stone has been burned. Now the skip of the Canadian Cartel, he surveys the ice. What does he want to do here? Are they going to stay aggressive and keep putting stones in the house? Or are they going to try to guard up the stone they already have placed? And here's the next shot by the Canadian Cartel. The weight on this one looks decent, probably going to end up as a guard. And the skip comes out, he's going to start sweeping this thing as well. Maybe they can get to the edge of the house. Nah, not even close.
Slow down too far. Looks like they're guarding center. Ultimately beneficial when you do not have the hammer.
One of the comments is calling the Canadian Cartel a school of sharks. Now that is very intimidating, but you gotta remember, sharks gotta keep moving forward. They gotta keep adding on points. Because if they stop, sharks gotta keep moving forward to be alive. They stop swimming, they're gonna go down. So they definitely gotta keep their pedal to the metal right here. And the shot from Stop Hammer Time. Looking to draw into the house here. Will it get around this guard?
It should.
It will. Does it have enough weight on it, though, to get into the house? It does not.
They're doubling down on center guards. A little slow, but otherwise a fantastic shot.
Over on sheet number 3, Skip the broom shot clock is Hugh, throwing his stone to a roar of the crowd. And it's being swept. Can they get a stone in the house? And since we moved our cameras to take a look at the fans, we could not see that last shot by the Canadian Cartel, but it did end up in that pile of stones in the middle. There we go. We are back on track over there now. 1 stone in the house, 3 in a pile out in front. What is the play by Stop Hammer Time?
Looks like the Berlin Wall out here. No good ways around.
Bringing out some historical references on a historical night of Penn State curling. The first ever gold bracket semifinals on semifinal Sunday here at the PEG. Semifinals for all 3 of our brackets currently going on. And Stop Hammer Time looking to complete the comeback and punch their ticket to the championship. They have yet to play Legion of Broom this semester. Maybe they will have some better luck than other teams have. But they can't get that chance if they don't complete this comeback right here.
Now, here comes another Hammer Time stone. Looks to be a little bit slow, likely going to fall short of the hog line.
It is going to fall short of the hog line. And you can see the pressure is starting to get to Stop Hammer Time a little bit. And the Canadian Cartel steps back up to the hack. Seems like they look to add another stone into the house, going for a draw into the center of the house here.
Pretty heavy.
It does look a little bit heavy.
Wow. Right to the track.
And let's see. Is it going to hang around? It will hang around.
Makes its way around the granite curtain and stopping at the back of the house.
And over on sheet number 3, even the crowd is shouting some sweeping suggestions to their beloved Broom Shakalakas, and it looked to have paid off. Or actually just on the outside of the house over on sheet number 3. Back on sheet number 1, stop hammer time, back in the hack, ready to throw. And it looks like they're going for a takeout, maybe just to break up these stones in the middle here. The famous Penn State yeet into the giant pile of stones, and it does the job partially. Clears out that mill, but does put a Canadian Cartel stone right in there.
Unfortunately.
We are coming down to the final 4 stones of the 4th end. Yes, the play and the call, the obvious call here at the end from the skip from the Canadian Cartel. Guard up that path. If they can successfully do that, it will be extremely difficult for Hammer Time to come out of this one alive.
Sure would be. That was really unfortunate, elevating another yellow stone.
And just got word that over on sheet number 3, it was a blank of the 4th end. Broom Shakalakas and Game of Stones 2 tied at 2 as we head into the final end. A exciting finish from our bronze bracket semifinal. And the guard is a little wide.
All right, Jimmy. Stop favorite time to run odds here to be able to take points. You can go for a double shake up.
A rock down the center line.
It's a hard throw. It should hit something, but what is it going to hit? Hits that yellow. Does clear out the center. Stop hammer time. They're going to have a chance here to draw for 1, and they are really going to need it.
If I were Cartel here, I would lay a guard right at the center of the house, just right in front of it. That's the only way that Stop Hammer Time is going to be able to get any points here.
Right, word from the ice is that they are currently sitting 3. When I say they, Canadian Cartel is currently sitting 3. Looks like they are going to attempt to guard what they have. Last guard they threw fell a little bit short of center and allowed for Hammer Time to get through. So let's see if they can stick it this time.
The Canadian Cartel with their skip throwing the final stone of the end. Can he come through in the clutch run?
And is this team looking to pull away from this 4th end with 3 rocks?
Stone coming through. Looks to be a little far to the left, but will it get a little bump and move into the center? Oh, it's going to end up in the house.
They're sitting 4 right now, Jimmy.
Sitting 4. This is a massive shot in this game.
Talk about a house divided amongst itself.
The axe, so the path to the button is wide open.
Sure is. The button draw could put this all to rest. But
So-
a missed rock could let the Canadian Cartel walk away with 4 points. It would be an absolutely nuclear end for the Cartel.
That might as well just end the entire match if they're going to walk out of here with 4.
Might as well.
Quick score updates from around the rest of our games tonight. The Stoners have come all the way back and have tied up the game at 5 going into the last end on sheet number 2. Sweeping Beauties continue to pull away from the Super Sweepers on sheet number 4, up 4-0 as we move into the 5th. And on sheet number 3, we have a tie game, and the crowd is getting anxious. 2-2 as we head into the 5th end between the Broom Shakalakas and Game of Stones. Back at our featured game, Canadian Cartel and Hammer Time. That shot was very, very light, and that could do it.
They're going to need to sweep this in, but I don't even think it's going to get there, Jimmy.
It's not going to get there. That is going to be 4 points for the Canadian Cartel.
This game is pretty much over. We need a miracle.
Nuclear end for the Cartel. Look at that.
A 7-1 game.
We are a pro-nuclear club as well.
Absolutely. We love those atoms. Fission or fusion. Splitting atoms and splitting houses by the looks of it. Look at those 4 rocks spread out.
We're getting clean in the comments, okay? You're all so mean. I don't know. This is not
The game isn't over yet. We still have a full end to play. Stop Hammer Time. They just need to get all 6 of their stones in the house to have a chance here.
Things have happened.
They have happened. Canadian Cartel, a massive end, and their biggest fan, John, is pumped right now.
As he should. Things are looking great for the Canadian Cartel right now.
A lot of good games going on around our ice rink right now. Canadian Cartel looking to pull away and punch their ticket to the gold bracket final and a rematch with the Legion of Vroom.
I'm not going to lie, Jimmy. They are looking very solid right now. They're going to be a very tough team to beat if they're able to pull off this win and make it to the championship.
Absolutely. They've been on the money for the entirety of this game. The past basically hour and 30 have been nailing shots.
Over on sheet number 2, Miracle on Ice, throwing a stone that is just on the edge of the house. Stoners also have a stone on the edge of the house. Actually, the stone from Miracle on Ice went through the house, which means it went to
Flavortown, Jimmy.
Flavortown over on sheet number 2. And back on sheet number 1, Canadian Cartel is looking to put a bow on this one. And the stone
Is good. 4 points up, on the 8th one. This is a strategy that's worked out incredibly well for the Canadian Cartel. This kind of early game pressure has really, really done it out.
They're just all in comment.
and we are getting ready to get back to curling here. Stop Hammer Time needs all of their stones in the house here to stay alive, and they're going to have to remove that yellow stone as well.
Jimmy, do you think that they're going to have to start with a button shot or a takeout?
Anything. They just need anything in the house here. All comebacks have to stop somewhere.
That's got to go, Jimmy.
And the shot from Gray, they're going to have to get on that and sweep. I don't know if that's going to have enough to make it.
If
Matt.
this rock misses, that could be it.
I don't think this is going to get past the T line, Matt.
It's not going to get past the blue line if we're playing
I
hockey.
think you mean the hog line.
And that is going to unofficially do it. We'll see if the teams decide to just play out the end. It looks like they are going to. But a defeated Skip for stop hammer time begins his walk down to the other side of the ice. And for Canadian Cartel, they can start thinking about what is going to happen next week in the championship game where they will take on the Legion of Broome, the undefeated returning finalists from last season. Can the Canadian Cartel avenge their loss from last week and take out the Legion of Broome?
From what we saw today, Jimmy, I think there's a solid chance for them to be able to come out very strong.
Canadian Cartel has burned that rock. Really no loss to them.
Over on sheet number 3, Broome Shakalakas and Game of Stones tied up as we're in the final end. Game of Stones currently sitting 1. And what could possibly be the final shot of the year for Stop Hammer Time's Delaney Price.
You gotta start sweeping that if they want to get past the hog line.
Sure does. The sweepers are on it, but it looks like it's going to fall short.
It will fall short, and that has really been the issue for Stop Hammer Time the last couple of ends. Everything has been short of the house.
It really has. Everything curling is about adapting. It's about adapting to the situation. It's about adapting to the ice. And your strategy has to be dynamic. So your pros. Here's the warning to adapt to the slow ice here on sheet 1. As a result, most of their rocks are falling short.
It's true. Speaking of adapting, over on sheet 2, the Stoners have adapted greatly. They gave up 4 points in the second end. We're down 5-0. They've tied up the game, and they are sitting 2 right now, looking to complete the unlikely comeback.
Looks like we have an injury on sheet 3.
An injury in sheet 3.
We got a man down on his knees. He's been down for about 30 seconds now. Just getting up now.
You see what's going on over there. He seems to be walking it off okay.
A little bit of pain.
Well, we got a lot of ice.
We do got a lot of ice there, Jimmy.
We have some great dance moves coming out of the Canadian Cartel here today as well, as they are starting to celebrate their victory. Playing out this last end just to get some extra practice for the championship next week.
Listen, as soon as the game's over, we start preparing for the next one. That's exactly what they're doing.
That is exactly what they're doing.
You guys better be ready for next week's matchup. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be cutthroat.
It's not only going to be a tough matchup, but it's also going to be history between these two teams.
This will be the first ever time in Penn State curling history where the championship game will be a rematch from earlier in the season. So just a historic night. Legion of Room, Canadian Cartel, two teams that will be looking to win their first ever league championship. Who will come out on top? We will find out next Sunday night, 10:30. We will be streaming it live here on our YouTube channel. Not quite done with this matchup though, even though it is mathematically over. We will take a look at the final couple of shots and keep you updated on some other games going on. Stoners are sitting on sheet number 2 with a couple guards out front looking to complete the comeback. And Broom Shakalakas. It's the final stone over on sheet number 3. It's the hammer. Can the Broom Shakalakas come home with the victory?
Looks like it's online. Oh, and it gets a
It's
guard.
it.
Crazy team defense.
Broom Shakalakas.
And in 5, that looks like absolutely brilliant play.
And the Broom Shakalakas will be going to the bronze medal championship game next week. They have punched their ticket. Now it's not over for Game of Stones, the loser of that game. They will play at 8:30 next week against the Sweeping Beauties, it looks like. Not for a chance to get a rematch with the Broom Shakalakas. And over on sheet 2, a fantastic shot. Ooh, it's close back there.
Not 100% sure where that is sitting.
It is too close to tell over on sheet 2. Not sure who's closer there, the Stoners or Miracle on Ice. Another game that will come down to the final shot.
Hammer time at this point, especially firing for a fact. Game's been decided whether you're choosing it out. Let's see what this rock does. So he's going to get caught up in his front lines. She knows.
And I believe the Sweeping Beauties have just wrapped up their victory over on sheet number 4, with the Broom Closet cheering them on as well. The Sweeping Beauties will play the Game of Stones at 8:30 next Sunday night for a chance to take on the Broom Shakalakas in the bronze medal championship game. And over on sheet number 2, this shot will decide it. It will hit off of their guard.
It's a blue. Too much.
Goes through, and we're about to find out who's closer.
It's going to be a tight one.
They're looking.
On sheet 1, Canadian Cartel playing it out, placing another guard up front. One more play. Looks like they're going to walk with 8-1 on this one. Not quite a shutout, but a pretty impressive showing from Canadian Cartel.
Okay, so it appears that the Stoners must be closer at this point, because Miracle on Ice is coming down to throw their final stone. So this shot right here will decide who will take on Team 7 in the silver medal match next week. We have 2 final shots going on. Kevin Matthews throwing the final shot of the year for Stop Hammer Time, and what a glorious first year in the curling club they had. They made the playoffs in the fall, losing in the semifinals to the eventual champion Sam's Club, and falling here in the gold bracket semifinals. So 2 third-place finishes for the first-year curlers. And over on sheet number 2, there goes the shot that will decide it all. The yellow stone on the left of your screen. Will it be closer? It looks a little hot. Actually, it might come to rest. Sweeping out the back is the skip. It's close. I don't know what the final tally is.
Looks like Street One is wrapping up. Looks like a 2-1 win over Hammer Time for the Canadian Cartel. Absolutely beautiful game. They've really put on a great show here against another strong team.
We're still looking at the stones down on sheet 2. I'm still not sure who won that one. So it's a win for the Canadian Cartel. We're going to have post-game interviews coming up shortly. And it was a win by the Stoners. They completed the comeback, 6 unanswered points over on sheet number 2. And the Stoners have themselves a rematch with Team 7 in the Silver Bracket Championship. So 2 of our 3 championships are set. It will be Legion of Room and Hammer Time, our featured game on the YouTube channel next week. Team 7 and the Stoners on sheet 2. We will have live updates on that one. And the Broom Shot Guard is against the winner of Games and Stones and Super Beauties. And now let's go out to Alex Scott with our post-game interview with Stop Hammer Time.
Hi, so I am here. Any comments about this game? I know it was a tough loss, but
Yeah.
can you put it into words?
Well, we're freshly new D1 athletes, and we didn't know playing such a high-profile game would bring much hate. We experienced this match, and it really got to our heads, and we didn't expect how hard it would be, but I think we pulled together as much as we can. We didn't let a shutout happen, and I'm proud of what we came here to do.
With this being the end of your season, are you planning on getting the team back together for next season?
I think we're gonna have to have some long talks over coffee, but we're best friends now. I think we're family, so we'll stick together.
Are you guys feeling another gold bracket appearance, or?
Yeah, that trophy, it's gonna have our name on it, whether they like it or not. It's going on there.
All right. That's all from them, Jimmy. Back to you.
Thank you, Alex. And it was a wonderful season by Stop Hammer Time. One of my favorite team names and one of my favorite teams to watch play. We know that they will definitely be back again in the fall and for years to come. Definitely a team of up-and-comers. And now we will come out for a post-game interview from our winners of today's game as they dance into the center of the ice for their interview with Alex Scott. The Canadian Cartel celebrating a massive victory as they are going to the championship game. Alex, back out to you.
Thanks, Jimmy. I'm back here with the Cartel. David, from last week's loss, what did you change to be able to come out of here with a huge win tonight?
Well, obviously from last week, we are not all donned in suits. We figured we'd go with a casual look, and I think the results speak for themselves.
The big question, are you guys ready for next week's huge match? I mean, last match of the season, everything on the line, trophy on the line. Are you ready?
Wait, is it the finals?
It's the finals. This was a semifinal. You guys just won the semifinal.
Let's answer this as a team.
What do you guys think?
Easy. Don't call it a comeback. There's no way we're winning.
I wouldn't really say that. I mean, everybody has a chance. I mean, you never know. You definitely beat this team again. But is there any final comments before you guys go into the championship game?
I think we're going to take a lot from what we did this game into the next one. That's my comment.
All right, that's all from the Cartel, Jimmy. Back to you.
And a very happy Cartel they are, dancing their way into the championship for a rematch with the Legion of Room. It will be an incredible game next week. Now, we are not done with our interviews just quite yet. We are going to have an interview with the Broom Shakalakas, who just punched their ticket to the bronze medal game next week, and a very excited team they are. Let's see what Alex has to get from them.
Thanks, Jimmy. So I'm here with Broom Shakalakas and with Nico. So, Nico, Can you talk me through what happened during that last end?
You know, we were down by, we were tied actually. They had one or two of them in the house, and then we kind of missed through our second to last stone. So I stepped up with the last one, and I did my best to try and deal with the slant of the ice and try and curl it the opposite way. And I was able to get mine right on the pin. So worked out in the end.
Looked like it. Would you say that your fan section had anything to do with this win here?
Oh, definitely. The broom closet is a big supporters of the broom closet, and having them help us out definitely helped us seal the win.
Are you going to change anything, or are you going to keep it all the same going into the?
We're keeping it all the same. We're out here with the same kind of uniform, sponsored by Ryan and Andrew Glenn. You can see him over there, and working on his. They wear the same outfit to every single sporting event, so that this one is for the Glens, and all of them will be for the Glens.
All right, congrats, guys.
Thank you,
Jimmy. Back to you.
Thanks, Alex. Some great post-game interviews today. We will see the Broom Shakalakas in a bronze medal match next weekend. Our championship games are 5/6 of the way set. So thank you all for tuning into our 2 incredible games today. We had a couple of fantastic finishes, and we look forward to seeing what we will have in store for you next week. Until then, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Matt.
I'm Alex. Have a great week.